Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2025 related video here on my channel, and another installment in this series I've been doing where I focus on the Saturday Showdowns, or Super Saturdays, of the ESC 2025 season. This is where I go through pretty much every event that is taking place over the course of a given Saturday, or indeed weekend, of this particular Eurovision season, talking about some of the songs in a bit of detail, maybe making a few predictions here and there, and also maybe telling you my personal favourites of some shows as well. As always, you are very welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. As I speak to you now, it is late in the evening of Friday the 28th of February, and I'll be completely honest with you, I forgot to film this video earlier on, so I'm doing it now. It is probably going to turn out to be a complete mess, but then again, this whole damn Eurovision season has been a bit messy. It has been shambolic, to say the least, and I'll be completely honest with you, my opinions haven't really changed from a few weeks ago. It has been quite difficult to talk about some of these songs and some of these shows because I don't know what's been going on this particular Eurovision season, but it just does not feel very strong, and I've not really been loving it. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't want to come across as some sort of whiner, but nobody can convince me that this year is pretty good. It is pretty darn stinky in comparison to some of the more recent contests we've had. There are so few songs that are really getting people very, very excited for what's to come. And the way I see it at this moment in time, we could have a situation similar to 2011, where loads of countries are getting points left, right and centre from all these different places, which is great because nobody's left behind, but we end up with a winner that nobody's really that chuffed about, even though it's one of the favourites to win. That was the case with Azerbaijan back in 2011. Or we're going to end up with a situation in 2015, which is where we had Sweden and Russia and we had Italy, and they were so far ahead of everybody else that every other country may as well have stayed at home, because it really was a three-horse race and everybody else was just playing catch-up. We could have a situation similar to that this year in Basel in May. Or we are going to have a situation similar to 2023, and I really think this is probably going to happen now, where the juries decide who wins for everybody. Because back in 2023 in Liverpool, I was there on the pier head that evening with my good friend Peter, and even though we really wanted Finland to maybe do it, we were also very sensible and wise about the situation, and I think every other Eurovision fan was as well. We knew Sweden were going to win that jury vote very comfortably, so it came to be, and that just made the public results somewhat underwhelming, and I think that really could happen again this year, and it may well be between Sweden and Finland again this year. The way things are going, I really don't see anybody stopping Sweden, irrespective of whatever song they send. I'll be totally honest with you. People are loving Albania, people are loving Finland. This is great, you know. There are songs that are popular. But then you're thinking, well, who the hell else is going to finish in the top 10? Who the hell is going to just miss out on the top 10? It is a complete mess, this particular Eurovision. It really, really is. There's no outstanding dark horse like Ireland last year. There doesn't feel it doesn't feel like there's a great deal of excitement about many of the tracks this year, and I know I'm not alone in thinking that. And it's getting so difficult to just talk about these damn songs because they are bang damn average. So many of them are just not that amazing. They might be fine, but they're not that amazing necessarily. They're not that competitive. And one thing is for sure, and I really feel this now, the juries will determine this year's winner. Anyway, what an absolute mess and ramble that was from me. Let's focus on the mess that is to come over the course of the next few days. I've just seen Serbia's result. What the hell is going on there, for example? Anyway, this Saturday, or rather, what we've had tonight, we've had the second semi-final of Croatia's Dora, we've had the final from Serbia, and we've had semi-final 7 of San Marino. Honestly, if you are bothering with San Marino's national selection, I don't really know why. It's so long-winded. Like, if that was me in charge, you would not be having 7 damn semi-finals. So let's focus on tomorrow. I really must apologise because I'm just so frustrated with this Eurovision season as a whole, and I really think it's starting to show now. But anyway, bear with me. Tomorrow night, more shambolic stuff. We have the final, the only show indeed, of Melodi Grand Prix from Denmark. That begins at 8 p.m. CET. We then have Heat 5 of Swedish Melfest, which I've made a video about. We've also got the second chance round thingamajig happening, and my God, have they made that complicated, or have they made that complicated? That's also taking place. That all begins at 8 p.m. CET as well. We have Germany's shambolic national selection, which gets going at 8:15. We've had shows previously. This is going to be the final. And then we have semi-final 2 of Portugal's FDC, which begins at 10 p.m. CET. And if the results are anything like from semi-final 1, you better believe it's going to be a complete mess. And then on Sunday, we have the final of Croatia's national selection, Dora, which gets going at 8:15. It is entirely possible that some of these will be streamed on the official Eurovision Song Contest YouTube channel, or indeed elsewhere. As I've said many times before on my channel, I don't really watch national finals live. I never have. I might tune in if I can to see the results, but this Eurovision season I definitely haven't been doing that, because it would just irritate the hell out of me to see the votes go all over the damn place. So, let's focus, shall we? I'm not even prepared for this. What an absolute disaster this is turning out to be. But anyway, Denmark, DMGP. It's taking place in Herning. I actually revisited the songs earlier on today. We've got 8 songs. The top 3 based on a international jury, Danish professional jury, and the public will progress to a super final, where the same voting method will be used to determine the overall winner and therefore Denmark's representative in Basel. Remember that this is a country that has not qualified for a Eurovision final this decade. The last time Denmark were in a Eurovision final was with Leonora in Tel Aviv in 2019. The lineup is Maria with I Belong to Me, That's Okay. I think quite a few people don't mind it, but I don't see it winning at all. Tim Shu with Proud. He was the lead vocalist of A Friend in London in 2011 with New Tomorrow. That was great. Did well in the jury vote, not so well with the public though, but that was a fantastic entry. Really solid stuff. And he's back. And that song, the way things are going, he's going to win. Even though he's song 2 tomorrow night. He is a very strong contender to win. And I don't mind the song, in all honesty. Song 3 is Supernova by Max Ulver, which is not strong enough. Song 4 is Allez Allez by Hervé Torre. With all due respect, that shouldn't be anywhere near a national final. I don't think it's remotely strong enough. Song 5 is Maria Mathia with Air, which is pretty good. There is potential with that one. Song 6 is Adel II, the unluckiest boy alive, which isn't too bad, but I don't think it should be winning. Song 7 is the song that should be winning, just because it feels like the strongest track here, in my opinion. Hallucination by Sissal. This is co-written by Linnea Deb, who's written so many national final songs over the years, and Melanie Verber, who's also written so many national final songs over the year. She co-wrote Sand for Saba last year, and she's been in Melfest as a lead vocalist before. This song is good. It's solid. It's unspectacular, but it's solid. And then we have Andreas Kruse with Hear My Prayer, which might win. It's certainly not too bad an effort. All in all, it's sort of as we expected from Denmark, but maybe marginally stronger than what we've had in recent years. And I think they're giving themselves a reasonable fighting chance if they send Sissal, maybe Andreas Kruse, potentially Maria Mathia. If it's anything else, Denmark are probably going to stay in the semi-final stages once again. But that's the situation with DMGP. I'm not sure many Eurovision fans give much of a toss about this show anymore, but it is taking place tomorrow night. As for... what are we doing? As for Sweden, well, yes, this is the final heat, and I will briefly go through it again, because why not? Do let me know your thoughts on anything I'm talking about by leaving a comment down below. That's much appreciated. So I'm looking here. Jönköping is the venue for Heat 5. We have Melfest veterans and Sweden's 1993 representatives in Mill Street that year. Arvingarna with Ring Baby Ring. Don't underestimate them, because they have done well for themselves in the past. Arwin with This Dream of Mine. That is likely to finish somewhere in the top 3. It's not too bad. Saga Ludvigsson with Hate You So Much. That sounds pretty good. I haven't heard these songs in full yet, I can tell you that much, but I know they're out by now. That is in with a good chance of making the top 3, but might ultimately fall short. Victoria Silvstedt with Love It feels a little bit too dated. That might struggle. Wilhelm with I'm Yours, last place. Can't really see it finishing any higher than that. And then we've got Scarlet with Sweet and Psycho, and that sounds like it's better than their effort last year, at least to me. It sounds a little bit more promising. They're likely to win this heat. They're likely to do all right for themselves in the final, but I don't think they're winning this year's Melfest. In terms of the second chance round thingamajig, Meir Omar likely to progress. Khalifa, that song doesn't really do anything for me. I'd be surprised if he went through. Dolly Style, really popular. That song has got a lot of support, I'll tell you that right now, and I really like it. And it's done well in the Swedish charts this week, and they're having a good time. There's choreo. It's all fairly slick. It's very convincing. It's obviously not to be taken seriously. Me, as a 32-year-old, really enjoying this. It is what it is. Maybe it's a bit surprising that I like it as much as I do, but then again, I did like Hello High from all those years ago. Long story short, I can see this making the final. Ella Tirriciello with Bardu Adar, that's fine. I wasn't blown away by the live performance, though. It's a very sweet track. And then obviously whoever finishes third, or rather second in the second round of voting, in this week's Heat 5, which in my opinion is probably going to be Arvingana or Saga Ludvigsson. It might well be one of those two. But anyway, Meir Omar and Dolly Style likely to go through from the second chance round thingamajig. And it's so weird how they've done this. So weird. There doesn't seem to be a great deal of explanation in front of me here. So, whatever. Sweden once again tinkering with the format just because they feel like it. Måns is very likely to win the whole thing and therefore win Eurovision, because the juries will see him getting slapped in the face by loads of pieces of paper, and that will be enough for them to gush everywhere. Kai might do it. Greshula might do it. Clara Hammarström might do it. It should be really close. But I'll talk more about this next week when the final is very much nearly upon us. Next up, we have Germany. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I mean, let me think about this. It should be between Feuerschwanz and Aborigintina, which means it will probably be Moskena winning this national final. That's the way things have gone this Eurovision season. Prepare for the unexpected, simply put. Now, I'm looking at this. The lineup, we don't have the actual running order yet, for some reason, but we've got Aborigintina with Baller or Baller. I think it's Baller. It doesn't really matter. It's a pretty solid song. The live performance wasn't brilliant, in my opinion. I think the studio cut is a hell of a lot better, and I'm hoping the performance tomorrow night is a hell of a lot stronger. It is in with a very, very serious chance of winning. I would not be mad if it comes out on top. Benjamin Braat's with Like You Love Me is a fine ballad, but it ain't winning, and it shouldn't be winning. Cosby with I'm Still Here, that is good. That is solid stuff. It would be a fine entry for Germany, but I don't think it's winning. Feuerschwanz with Nightclub, that's my favourite. Yes, it's a bit silly. Yes, it's a little bit like Lord of the Lost a few years ago, and we all know how well they did, or rather how badly they did in Liverpool that time around. But this is my pick. I don't know. It'll be up there. Julika with Empress, gave it a shot because maybe I was a bit harsh about it at first. It's okay, but I don't think it's competitive enough. Leonora with This Bliss, not competitive enough. Liza with Lovers on Mars, it's good. I just wish that it had a little bit of something extra to it to make it really stand out. Moskena, great singer. The song, not competitive enough. And then the great Leslie, that's fine. British interest there, of course, but again, not really competitive enough. The way it's working is that in the first round of voting, each of the 9 artists involved will perform a cover song for no reason whatsoever, very bizarre, and their candidate Eurovision song. And an expert jury, which will include Conchita Wurst, will select 5 acts to proceed to the second round. So the public don't get a say early on, because that has all the makings of a great national final format right there. And then in the second round, the winner will be selected solely through public voting. So let's think about this. Aborigintina will be one of them. Cosby will be another. Liza will be a third. Moskena will probably make it a fourth. Feuerschwanz might not even make the final 5. But I'm going to say that they do, and then it's a straightforward battle between the double act and Feuerschwanz. And I can see Feuerschwanz coming out on top, but like I said a moment ago, expect the unexpected. It's been a really, really jumbled national final format, this. I think Germany came into it talking big and hoping for some incredible material, but that has not really materialised at all. And I'm looking here, yeah, probably around 2 million people will watch tomorrow night in Germany. It is what it is. Then we have Portugal, FDC semi-final 2. Now, I will be paying a bit of attention to this one because my favourite act of this year's Portuguese selection is involved. That's Henke, who's closing semi-final 2 tomorrow night with I Want to Destroy You. Don't see Portugal sending her at all, but she'll be up there getting a lot of love, that's for sure. The jurors will probably turn their noses up at this because it's a little bit different, but it is a very strong, credible effort and would probably stand out a mile at Eurovision. Looking at who else we have in semi-final 2, Fernando Daniel, he's going to go through. Emmy Curl, that's Catarina Miranda, who finished second a few years ago behind Claudia Pascual. She's probably going through. I'm hoping Inês Marques Lucas goes through with Quantos Queres. Napa, definitely. The way things are going this Eurovision season, they're the ones to beat. So Napa are probably going through. People are really liking Diana Villarinho. Okay, I guess. That's probably going through. And then maybe Bombazine will go through as well. I don't really know. It's been a little while since I checked these songs out. Looking at last week, Capital de Bulgaria is out. That's outrageous. Peculiar only went through because of the public, which is very surprising. Josh, yeah, he is really the one to beat. But as I keep saying now, the way things have been this Eurovision season, he won't even come damn close to it. So we'll see if Portugal have got some sense or not. And then we've got the final of Dora on Sunday at 8:15 CET. And, really, this should be fairly close. I think Ogenge are going to do it with Die Die, which I would be fine with because it's one of my favourites. Why on earth we had semi-finals, I don't know. Only 4 songs missed out in both heats. So, you know, most of the tracks are in the final. Nipple People might do it. Lelek might do it. Magazine might do it. Marko Bošnjak might do it, but I don't think that's the best choice myself. Luka Nizetic might do it. And should he win, fair play, because he's tried many times in the past. He's a very experienced performer. He had a great song a few years ago, quite a charismatic figure. So if he wins, I'm not going to be too disappointed. But I think it probably is going to be Ogenge with Die Die, and that all gets going in Opatija on March the 2nd. That's it. I'm not going to talk about San Marino because that's just a complete and utter mess from start to finish. So there we go. I don't have anything else to say. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on what I've discussed in this video. I know it's been really messy. Oh, man. I mean, I can tell you right now, my number 1, not that I've ranked this year's songs, but my number 1 is going to be Finland. My number 2 is probably going to be Spain. And then I have absolutely no idea what my number 3 is going to be because there are so few songs that I actually give much of a crap about. It really is that bad. And I know you see people online every year say, oh, here we go. People are saying it's a poor year. The quality's not that great. This year really is a pretty poor year. It really is. And I go back to what I said at the start of this video. You could have a runaway winner as determined by the jurors. Måns Zelmerlöw is licking his lips as we speak because he knows, should he go to Eurovision, that jury vote might be all sewn up for him, and then the public, you know what's coming. It could be 2023 all over again, and maybe that's a very defeatist attitude that I've got right now, but I really can see that happening. Anyway, until next time, when hopefully I will not be rambling so much and not be complaining so much, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.